I'm here with Kezia Noble. She's only the top leading female PA coach in the world. Hey, Kezia.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm going to ask her some questions. First question, I know this is boring, you heard this a lot, but how did you get into this?
I started off in 2006. I used to work for a pickup company, and they approached me when I was in a nightclub and told me what they did, and I thought, very amusing, what's the pickup artist? And I was...
what was your first reaction when you...
I was a skeptic, like most people. I was just thinking, you cannot teach men how to seduce women. You either are attracted to them or you're not attracted.
It's like something you have it or you don't have it.
Absolutely,
right?
And that's what most people think. But anyway, I went down to one of their workshops and I wanted to have a look for myself at what was going on. I noticed two things. I noticed that there were techniques and skills and methods that really did make a difference. And I also noticed that there was a real lack of honest female advice and female insight. So my boss at the time, he asked me to give some feedback to the students, how they were doing, their progress. And I'm very direct, I'm very honest. So I gave it to them straight, and he picked up on that. Picked up, ha ha ha. And the students said, we want to see more of Kezia.
Okay.
Before I knew it, I was working full-time for that company.
That's when you decided to form?
Oh, I formed my own company. Oh no, that company was not for me anymore. And I had my book launch, and I had a lot of people that wanted to do just workshops with me. They didn't want to do it with the other company anymore, but the other company was completely trying to control me. And
they were happy with what you were teaching them?
They weren't allowing any of my products to come out.
Okay. And
I've gone to have sold hundreds, thousands of products that have really helped guys, but they wouldn't allow me to release any of my products. But in actual effect, I was a freelance consultant for them. I never signed any contract with them. So I went and formed my own team, launched my own products, became a published author.
Now you're helping guys around the world?
Around the world, yeah.
Yeah, this is great. Okay, something that was dying to ask Kezia is that when I talk to people about her, and I'm pretty sure she's waiting for this one, the first question that comes to people's minds when I say Kezia Noble is the word bitch.
Why am I not surprised?
What do you think about that?
Well, really what it means is that I'm very direct, honest and assertive. So I take it as a compliment.
Okay.
I never insult people, I never hurt people.
It's true.
So in the word bitch actually means someone that hurts someone, that's spiteful, that's out for themselves, all those kind of connotations. And I've never ever conveyed that.
That's true.
So people are calling me a bitch partly because they're not used to a woman who is direct and honest as I am and as assertive as I am. But also there is a little bit of an anti-Kezia hate campaign in the pickup community. It's very small.
What do you think is that?
Oh, because I left a big company and they got really annoyed with me, and you know, they decided to stamp their feet and get angry.
What do you think about the people who don't know you and they still call you that?
Like I said, I know why. I know why they're calling me that. It's direct. A direct woman who is brutally honest can come across as a bitch. If it was a man, they would say, hey, the man he's honest, he gets straight to the point, there's no bullshit with him. But with a woman, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
I completely understand that. I mean, you work in a world that is basically run by men, you know, and I've heard this a lot from lots of guys. I can't believe there is a girl teaching this, and we're going to ask this question later. And I completely understand that you have to show yourself as a very confident person, you know. And actually she is. I've been talking to her for this interview, and she's a very confident person. But once you get to know her, once you talk to her, you'll never say, you'll never say that she's a bitch.
They say I'm difficult, but not a bitch. I'm a difficult person. I'm probably difficult to live with, but I'm not a bitch.
And it's quite funny, I have to say.
Like most bitches are, or you know, for lack of a better word.
Okay, Kezia, you've been in this business for 6 years. How has it evolved since you started?
Well, some good things and some bad things. Let's start with the bad things. you've got about 2 companies which are dominating the seduction or the pickup community right now. And they're a little bit like corporations. They do not care about the person. They do not care about getting those guys results. They just care about pushing, you know, very expensive products and overrated courses. They're not actually interested anymore in the individual guy. Like the old company I used to work for, they used to really, really care about each of the guys that came to them. And now it's like the guy who's the CEO of the company is never there. And even the people who are like second, third in command, who are probably very adequate pickup coaches, are not there. So you've literally just got you know, a bunch of kids who are earning nothing teaching guys who are a lot older than them. There's nothing to do with the age. It's just that I know that a lot of these so-called coaches are not experienced. So you've got all these kind of people teaching. It's like the blind leading the blind.
Exactly.
You've got these, and it's because they're like corporations now. So they should say, well, you know, make them pay as much as possible and give them as little as possible. Whereas with my team and me, I work with every single student that comes in the 7-day course.
That I would like you to talk about that when you set a bootcamp or you create a bootcamp.
I'm there all the time, and my top traders then. If 2 of my top traders can't make that bootcamp, I won't hold a bootcamp. That's how important it is. I will not have 18-year-old kids who have no success with women just because they are getting paid 0.
And it's true. I mean, if you pay to see Kids and Noble, you have to see Kids and Noble, and that's what they pay for, right?
Absolutely. But there's some good things that have happened in the pickup community. For instance, you've got a lot of niche pickup coaches, you could say. For instance, you've got an Asian pickup coach. He helps guys who are white and black also, but he does help specifically men who are of Asian origin, like Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese. You've got people doing just specifically day game. You've got people specifically doing stripper game. So that's good, because I think that's healthy for people to look on the internet and say, right, you know, I don't want to learn how to pick up girls just in the daytime in clubs. I actually want to pick up this kind of girl. I want to do better with online dating. And oh, I'm Asian and I have specific sticking points that maybe a white coach won't understand or relate to. And then they can go to somebody who specialises with their particular sticking points.
It's very important. I think when you talk from experience, it's the best advice that you can get. I always say that knowledge without experience is completely useless.
I agree.
Okay, Casey, I've always said to all those guys out there who think that a woman can't teach this.
Probably if they were about, those same guys were like 100 years ago, they would say a woman could never be a doctor or a psychiatrist or a vet or anything. She should just stay at home and cook and clean. I mean, it's the exact mindset. Tough shit. They've got to get used to it. I'm here and I'm here to stay, and I'm doing very well, and I'm a massive, massive threat to a lot of the guys who run pickup companies. And so they probably send out all these interns to go on forums and stuff and say, oh, Kezia Noble's such a bitch, and Kezia Noble, what does she know what we're going through? She can't possibly teach. For me, I mean, if I was a man, I would go to a good-looking woman to find out how to seduce a woman. Personally, I would. I do understand when men say, oh, she can't sympathise with us, she doesn't know what we're going through.
But you have men in your team.
But I can sympathise. Can you not sympathise with people that are in need? Are you like void of emotion if you see somebody? If you saw somebody, okay, I'm using an extreme case. Let's say you saw someone who was homeless in the street, and you really, really, really sympathised with him. Okay, do you have to be homeless in order to sympathise with him?
Of course not.
No, exactly. So I'm with these students since 2006, and I completely sympathise with them. But I do think it's quite dangerous when you sit there going, oh, you poor thing, you poor thing. So how much sympathy do they really want? Exactly. So I say, I listen, I understand, because of the experience of helping guys for so long. I understand their frustration because everyone feels frustration.
Of course.
But then I say, right, enough is enough. Stop moaning. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. You've been doing that for 4 years.
Let's start working.
Let's start working. Whereas a lot of other pickup coaches will really strain that out. They will sit there for days and days going, oh, you poor thing. Yeah, women are such bitches, aren't they? I hate women. So what he's doing is recycling this frustration with women.
I think most of the guys out there teaching this had really bad experiences when they were probably teenagers, and they're projecting that.
Exactly.
Exactly. I want to teach guys how to treat women right. You know, for me, it's really, really important. There is no need to. I'm not going to say neck or things like that, because there is seriously no need to.
There's so much anger with women in the pickup community. The anger, it's like this frustration that they still have, and.
Well, I think, like I was saying it before, is that it all comes from the type of background that you have. You know, if when you were a teenager, girls, well, they didn't speak to you, or you couldn't even be around women. You come from that background, and in a way you are trying to project that when you teach your students. You know, and it's like you're projecting this anger against women.
Oh, you wouldn't believe I've met so many pickup coaches. I'm not going to say their names, and I'm telling you that there is real hatred for women underneath all that charm. Oh God! And the people, you know, they say they're alpha and stuff. I'm like, no, this is fueled by hate, honestly.
Yeah.
But a lot don't also. You know, I'm not going to put down all of them. But just back to what we were saying, it's also how long should you really be sitting there sympathising with a student? You see, students, they come to me because I am direct and honest. They're sick of their female friends going, oh, don't worry, one day you'll meet someone, just carry on being really nice and you'll meet that lovely girl. They've had all that. They've had the sympathetic here. They've had the girl putting her arms around him saying, don't worry, it will get better. They want results now. So I say, right, okay, move on. You've had your, 5 minutes of boo-hooing, and let's change your results.
Okay. There's something that I wanted to talk to Kezia is about Kino. It's really strange because when I started talking to her, I didn't know she didn't teach that. It's really strange because I think she's the only one that I know who doesn't teach Kino. And I always said, you don't need Kino to seduce a woman. You don't need to. So I want you to please look at the camera and tell all the guys watching this that you don't need Kino escalation to seduce a woman.
You don't need Kino escalation. If you find that it helps you, carry on using it. I don't think it's the be-all and end-all. I think also it depends a lot on what culture you're from. Now, if you're Spanish or you're Italian or you're Arabic or something like this, where the people are generally a little bit more warmer, socially warmer, so they'll be touching you a lot more, it's going to be really congruent, and you might as well learn where to touch the woman and how to make that work for you. But if you're from Norway, England, really cold places. No, just places where people are. Japan. If you start doing Kino in Japan, and I've been there, I mean, they'll just scream and run off, like, how dare you touch me? And it would just look so awkward when you see somebody who's cold, who, I don't mean emotionally cold, I mean just physically cold, suddenly doing all this weird stuff. And me and my wing girls, it's so funny, like, we have guys who come to us, they've studied Kino on other boot camps, and we're like, oh my God, stop touching me.
It looks strange as well.
But if the guy is, as I said, like Mediterranean or something, it looks kind of okay. It feels natural and congruent. And if you're a warm person in general, it doesn't really matter what culture you're from. If you're warm, I'm personally, I like to touch people. I don't like people to touch me too much. So if I went and did this, it doesn't feel strange.
It doesn't.
But if you're quite, I feel that you are not a very touchy person. So if you suddenly touch me now, I just think, oh God, why? I've been with men, and I've fancied men, been attracted to men who have not laid a single finger on me until obviously later.
Of course. I think when you project with your body language and the tone of your voice and other things, you don't need Kino escalation.
I agree. But saying that, on my course I do have trainers who teach Kino, and they're very, very good at it. So if someone comes to me and says, look, really want to master Kino, okay, go to them, that's fine. But me personally, I won't teach it because unless the person is already naturally very touchy-feely, I won't do it. Because it will look incongruent and weird. And I know, I've seen girls' reactions. I've seen girls going, why are you touching me on my elbow? Yeah. And it's like, oh, because this guy taught me to do it. Who taught you to do that? Somebody that was naturally warm is teaching you something which is alien to you?
Exactly, yeah. If it doesn't go with your personality, I always tell them, don't do something that doesn't go with your personality, because you're going to feel strange and you're going to project in a certain way negativity because you don't feel comfortable about what you're saying or confident about what you're doing, you know, and you're projecting that. So you're going to make her feel also strange. Like, why are you touching me, like Casey just said?
And Kino can annoy a lot of women.
Exactly.
Even if somebody is doing Kino as best as they can, and even if they are very friendly, touchy-feely people, I do see women starting to get a bit annoyed.
Exactly, yeah.
Especially in this day and age, people like their space even more. They're a lot more into having their own personal space around them, I think.
Okay. Now we're going to talk about seduction and pickup. Do you think picking up and seduction is the same thing?
No. Pickup is the initial attention that you get from her.
I think seduction is more about creating connection. Right?
The seduction is about creating the connection and actually seducing, actually escalating, sexually escalating. Picking up, for me, pick up means the actual initial attention that you get from her. I think that's what the fundamental difference is.
That's it. Oh, come on.
I don't know this one. It's a pick-up. I mean, one's just
because
a sleazy...
for me...
Okay, you'll be to be honest. You won't like it.
Okay,
one is just a sleazy way of saying seduction, but it's the same thing.
No, for me picking up is like approaching to a girl, say something nice, and it's like, okay, I got her number.
No, I don't agree.
Okay.
Seduction, pick-up.
Seduction for me is about...
We can argue on camera, that's fine. Come on, let's do it. You have to have a little bit of this. We can agree to disagree.
Okay.
People will agree with me, though, because I'm right. That's fine.
She's so funny.
Okay.
Right now we're going to talk about picking up and seduction. What do you think about that, Is picking up and seduction the same thing?
Yeah. I do think it's the same thing. I think pick up just sounds very sleazy. But it's the same thing. You're picking up, you're seducing a girl. As seduction just sounds so much prettier.
I have to say that I totally disagree with her. I think seduction is about creating
You
a
disagree with me?
Of course I am. Why would I
How
agree
dare
with
you? How dare you? Get out.
Okay.
I'm just living up to my reputation, that's all.
Oh, I totally agree with that. That was funny, actually. Like I said before, she's funny. What I think is when you seduce a woman, you create a connection. You know, most guys only focus about picking up girls, like getting phone numbers, basically. And when you actually create a connection with someone, you don't have to worry about if she's going to reply or she's going to pick up the phone because you seduced her. You know, and you can. And this is not related with time. I mean, you can actually seduce a woman in 1 minute, 2 minutes. It's about creating an impact on her life, and you can do that in a very short period of time. There is no need to talk to a woman for 10 minutes or an hour to seduce her. It's about if you're able to make an impact in her life in a short period of time, you seduce her.
I just think you're romanticizing pickup, personally, and I think it's very beautiful what you said.
Oh, thank you
and I think it's something that women watching this at home are going to go, yeah, that's what I want.
Maybe
but
that's the reason why I'm still
essentially, it's still the same thing. Getting the girl into the bed, having sex. You're either picking her up or you're seducing her.
But for me, I always teach guys, this is not only, or this is not focusing about having sex with girls.
The seduction artists, with that probably women wouldn't mind that so much. Pick-up artists sounds worse than seduction artists. We should change the name, the seduction artist.
That's what I'm going to call
to keep
myself.
women happy there. Seduction artist. We're not picking you up,
seducing you. So they really keep thinking that seduction and picking up.
We'll have to agree to disagree on this one.
We'll just leave it like that.
Let you be the judge.
I'm going to talk about natural seduction. What is natural seduction for you, Kezia?
What is natural seduction for me? A guy that can naturally seduce.
That's it. That's simple.
I think that's it. There's some guys that just been seducing women, picking up women, whatever you want to call it, since they were about 14 years old. They've just been really, really good at it. It could be because they started off as being good looking, and that kind of confidence that it gives them of being good looking actually manifests in them and carries on and on and on. So there's a lot of guys that you see who are not attractive anymore, not physically attractive, but they used to be like gorgeous little, 14-year-old young men, and that there's still that in their head, and they project that confidence still. So that's a natural for me.
Okay. Can you tell the difference between a guy who's like a very good pickup artist and a natural?
Not if he's a good pickup artist. If he's really good, like for instance my team, they go out to clubs and they're taking girls back home every single night. Naughty boys. But they're having a lot of fun. And you can just see them in the club and compare them to like a bunch of pickup artists, and you can see the difference. Not expert pickup artists, and just doing all this weird, as we said, keynote stuff.
Yeah, there's no need to. Yeah, but what I think is when you're natural, for me, for instance, when I started, it was really hard because I had to start thinking about all the things that worked for me. I had to do a lot of introspective in myself, thinking, why is this working? I had to start reading a lot of psychology books, and it's really, really, really interesting.
But you have the ability to break down what you're doing then.
Exactly.
Well,
it's
I
very
think,
important.
you see, back to the other pickup companies, they won't hire always good-looking men. They'll hire really, really, really like physically vile-looking guys who have contrived routines and pick-up lines because they think, oh, that gives hope to guys. But for me, I have on my team guys who are not very good-looking, guys who used to be bad with women, guys who are naturals all their life, and one of my trainers is a model.
Okay.
He's a 6'3", gorgeous, tall, blonde model, and it proves because I remember when he first came to me and he was a student that he despite the fact he was good looking, he had no self-confidence.
I want you to please tell that, to talk to the camera and tell them that, because I have heard this from lots of guys. They try to relate this to looks, and it's nothing. Of course, looks matters. I'm not going to lie to you, but
well, it didn't help him. That's the thing. It didn't help the student that I had. Now he's a trainer. He model looks. I mean, he does do modelling, and he used to get women looking at him in the street, but he didn't know what to say to them, and they felt this weakness in him, and they were just not attracted to him in the end. But now he's figured it out, and he's got a lot more confidence. So I'll have on my team every type of guy, but I also have naturals. But I won't have on my team someone who's a natural but has the inability to break down what it is that he's doing. We've got Shane, he's a natural, and he is very detailed about what he does, and he breaks it down, and he's very, very honest. So I do think naturals can teach, and I think it's
as long as you can break down what you're doing.
Exactly. I just think it's this whole geeky side of the PUA community where they've decided they've had these rules going, oh, the uglier you are, I mean, the more we're going to listen to you. That's
one of the reasons why
I know loads of unattractive men who get loads of women. It means nothing, honestly.
Of course, this is one of the reasons. This is why
one of my ex-boyfriends was ugly. He was really, really ugly, and he was like one of the best naturals I've ever seen in my entire life. I've never seen a man seduce so many women, and he was ugly. I mean, there was no one would look at him and say, "There's a fine-looking chap."
That's one of the reasons why it's called game, right? Because it's a game. It's not only related with looks. Katie, you're quite successful at what you do, and do you think men feel intimidated by that? Not only because you are quite successful, but because you're basically teaching men how to seduce women.
I think when I first tell guys what I do, their initial reaction is one of curiosity.
Of course.
They're very curious. And then I think it's followed by being intimidated because TikTok, they're
so what am I
actually thinking
doing?
about, what am I doing wrong? Is she analysing me now? I think it must be the same if someone speaks of a porn star. they must think, God, this person must think I'm really bad in bed because
it's a good analogy.
slept with so many people.
Okay. Do you think it's about enjoying the moment, right?
Yes,
when
I switch off completely. Again, like a porn star. I switch off. I just enjoy the moment for what it is. I don't sit there and analyse. I have to do that so much every week. It's such a joy for me to just switch off now.
Of course. I always tell the guys that I work with, enjoy the moment. That's really, really important. You know? You have to incorporate all the things that you learn as a part of your persona, as a part of your life, so you can do them in a way that is natural, you know, and you can enjoy doing what you're being taught.
You have to have, absolutely, it's like a diet. You have to have days where you can eat what you like, and you have to have days when you're learning pickup or seduction, whatever you want to call it, where you throw it all out the window and you just be silly and you just enjoy yourself. Otherwise, you'll become like a social robot.
Exactly.
And there's some companies that, I'm not going to say the names, but they've got they've got an army of social robots going out, and I've seen them. When I went to Los Angeles, I saw them, and they came across as abnormal. What is normal? Fine, but they came across as really weird, because they didn't have one day where they just, you know, stopped the learning process and stopped being so obsessed with game and pickup and just enjoyed life.
There's lots of guys out there who are obsessed with this thing, you know, just like reading every single thing about this. And the problem is that when you read all about it and you don't have experience, you know, you at some point you have to go out there and get rejected.
But all the trainers on my team, they've got their own hobbies, their own life. Of course, pickup is a big part of their life. They teach it, and they're constantly evolving and then coming up with new ideas. I would lie if I said that it wasn't a big part of their lives. But they've also got other jobs. They've got friends who've got nothing to do with the pickup community. If they said to their friends what they did, they'd be like, "What is that?" You know, and they choose to remain what society would consider normal to a certain degree. Because a lot of these pickup guys can get really weird. I know some of the heads of the pickup communities and the biggest companies, they are sociopaths. They can't hold a conversation. They've got poor body language. And you look at them and you think, God, you're teaching men how to be more sociable and good with women? They've just been in the pickup world for too long.
Yeah.
Sitting in front of a computer,
I think that's
marketing.
Well, we talked about before, about the background that you're coming from, right? Okay. Tell us, Kezia, how will we get in touch with you?
You can go to my website, which is www.kezia-noble.com.
I'm going to put out subtitles, no worries.
Thank you. And you can get my free ebooks there, completely 100% free. I've also got my products, my regularly updated blog, and my live events, which you should check out.
The Twitter.
The Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook likes are all at the bottom of the website. It's a beautiful website, nice and purple, my favourite colour. That doesn't interest men at all. It's a purple website. That would interest women. You say, oh, I must check out that purple website. No, seriously, guys, I've got packed with information. There are lots and lots of free information, advice, and videos. So check that out.
Okay, Kezia, thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you. I really enjoyed it. I love the questions. They're super cool. Love them.
Thank you to hear that. Okay. Ciao, ciao.